Straight ahead on 12 News, turning the park into your personal gym. We'll have tips for parents to avoid the don't have time excuse. Plus, a Plymouth mom's rare health story that shows why it pays to be your own advocate for your health.
I'd say the things that were really bugging me, that were really worrisome, are a lot better.
But first, a Brooklyn Center couple's 4th of July story that's just too good to wait. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The 4th of July gave a Brooklyn Center couple another reason to celebrate.
But as Eric Nelson explains, the extra celebration didn't come without some anxious moments.
Ah, she's a little cutie.
The July 4th fireworks came early for Abby Vanyo and Jacob Schindler.
I had to tell him to pull over because we weren't going to make it.
Yeah,
I knew that we weren't going to.
I hadn't even accelerated to 60 yet.
Abby gave birth to Griffin Schindler Monday morning on the side of I-94 in Minneapolis as the couple was en route to Abbott Northwestern Hospital.
We both still thought we were going to make it to the hospital. We just thought it was going to be no epidural.
Baby Griffin, however, had other ideas and couldn't wait any longer.
Her whole labor and delivery was a half hour.
With the help of the Minnesota State Patrol and Minneapolis firefighters,
I can't thank the state troopers and the EMTs enough.
Griffin was born next to one of Minnesota's busiest interstate highways.
They mostly were just like helping her with her breathing. He was like holding the blanket so that I could take the baby and just wrap her up right away.
I just knew what I had to do, and I didn't think I was going to know what I had to do, but it just kind of happened.
Because she was born on Independence Day, Griffin is truly a Yankee Doodle dandy.
I wanted her to be born on 4th of July.
Jacob described Griffin's I-94 birth as the coolest thing he has ever been a part of, and now wants his future kids to also enter the world in a unique way.
I got to up the ante. Now it's got to be twins on the side of a mountain.
In Minneapolis, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
And Griffin is Abby and Jacob's second child. They left the hospital today.
Well, this holiday weekend provided another example of why wildlife doesn't mix well with high-speed traffic. A Crystal man stopped for ducks crossing I-694 in Fridley, and it ended up causing a 3-car pileup on Sunday morning. A Maple Grove man and his 16-year-old son suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the crash. The State Patrol says drivers should never come to a stop on a busy highway for animals. They tell people to first slow down and then to change lanes to avoid wildlife if they can safely do so. The State Patrol gets about 40 to 50 calls a week of animals on Minnesota highways. Well, here's a new traffic tangle to warn you about. The northbound I-494 ramps to and from Highway 55 are now closed and will remain that way through early August. The closures are needed while crews reconstruct both ramps. There is some good news, though. The northbound I-494 ramps to and from Rockford Road are now back open after being closed for 1 month.
A Brooklyn Center women's group says there are concerns about having enough daycare along the proposed route for light rail in the Northwest Metro. The Minnesota African Women's Association says it's important that daycare be easily accessible along the Blue Line for parents who have limited transportation options. LaBelle Nabangi says she is hearing concerns from families who would have to find another mode of transportation to get from the light rail to their daycare, since many don't drive cars.
Suggesting that there should be more daycares, especially around the LRT area, so then they're dropping off a child and getting on the train and then getting off the train and just picking up the child. And so it cuts back on the back and forth running, and they're also thinking, yeah, it's going to be cost effective if there are many more.
She says there are women who would like to start daycare operations near the LRT route, but they don't have the money that's needed to get it started.
The 4th of July brings patriotism and celebrations, and for one city park, it also brings a big cleanup. Manor Park in southeast Robbinsdale was full of trash and debris left over from the weekend. Robbinsdale city officials say it was a busy place all weekend long, and keep in mind it's unlawful to leave trash behind without properly disposing of it. And we spoke with residents who say they live nearby and are upset by what they found.
This mess and this trash that we're seeing left over from the holiday weekend here has been going an ongoing problem, getting worse, and I think the citizens of Robbinsdale are having to pay the price for it. I do not believe these people that are using this park are Robbinsdale residents.
I feel bad. I feel bad that this is such a nice park and people don't appreciate it.
Besides littering, it's also illegal to consume alcohol in a city park unless you have a permit. And to rent a park building, there is a $100 deposit, which may be surrendered if it's not properly cleaned up.
There is an effort to increase recycling by making it simpler to figure out what you can and can't put in a recycling cart. When new or replacement recycling carts go out to residents of Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Crystal, and New Hope, they will include new labels with pictures of what should be recycled and what should go in the trash. Officials say pictures work better than text. The word recycle is also written in Spanish, Hmong, and Vietnamese. The idea, of course, is to break down language barriers for new immigrants who may not speak English.
We've got new immigrant populations where they're coming from places where they may not have had curbside recycling programs. And so we've found there's a little bit of difficulty conveying the information of what is this program and how do you participate in it.
Tim Pratt says it's part of an effort to increase recycling from 50% to 75%. He says many Minnesota companies that use recycled goods for new products need more material.
A Plymouth woman says she's got her life back after having surgery to remove a rare brain tumor. We first told you about April Steinberg last March when she was trying to get funds for the expensive surgery. There have been several twists and turns since then, and reporter Sonia Goins has an update.
Oh, hey, baby girl. You gonna come play by us?
April Steinberg says she doesn't take moments like this for granted.
It's amazing to be able to play with them again, and I missed it so much.
Something as simple as playing in the park with her two children was a no-go for the past 2 years.
I would get too dizzy to go outside. I'd be scared that I would faint or something with the kids.
In 2014, April was diagnosed with a pineal cyst, but doctors later learned she had something worse, a benign penicytoma tumor.
Tumors can be more serious because they can push on your brain more, and mine was actually compressing my brain.
Her condition causes very bad headaches and dizziness, along with other problems.
Migraines. I was getting numbness in my left side, and to the point at the end I couldn't feel my left side at all.
Her medical insurance was also causing a few headaches. Her husband, Justin Steinberg, works 2 jobs, and the family was struggling to pay for the $167,000 procedure.
I was really in shock, actually.
They end up switching plans and switching doctors.
I used to have, what was it?
Well, Medica,
and then I had to change to Blue Cross.
April found a support group on Facebook, and that led her to neurosurgeon Dr. Sunil Patel at the Medical University of South Carolina.
He told me that he was 100% sure that it was a tumor and that he thought that removing it would help me.
She had surgery March 9th. Her doctor went through the back of her head and used a probe to remove the tumor.
They took it out piece by piece.
The surgery was less expensive, but April still had to come up with a nearly $7,000 deductible.
We had to put it on 2 credit cards.
April says it was money well spent.
I'm very grateful.
She's feeling more like herself after surgery.
I'd say the things that were really bugging me, that were really worrisome, are a lot better.
The family maxed out one of their credit card bills to help pay for surgery. They set up a GoFundMe account to get extra help. Meanwhile, April's recovery is expected to take about a year. She says once she's feeling better, she hopes to start a photography business. Mike and Alex.
All right, coming up, turning the neighborhood park into your personal gym.
And then a little bit later in sports, get set for a bull riding bonanza in the Northwest Metro. We will preview the big Hamel Rodeo.
But first, after a stormy Tuesday night, sunny and mid-80s on Wednesday.
Welcome back. Federal guidelines recommend Americans should get at least 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic activity.
But with a parent's busy schedule, it's easy for them to say they don't have enough time. In today's Health Check, Elaine Cleveland shows us how to turn a trip to the park into a full body workout.
With summer vacation in full effect, families are drawn to the local playground.
A couple times a week we go? Yeah, we're avid park goers.
partially so they can burn off energy, but also out of necessity.
Many mothers would agree with me that it is very challenging in the summertime, particularly to get our children to be agreeable to going to an indoor gym and waiting on you to get your workout in.
Stand with your feet about hip width apart.
Lucky for Abby and other busy parents, the park can be their gym.
Playground like this is a great one. You got plenty of equipment. You can get a full body workout.
Steve Moore is an exercise physiologist from West Health in Plymouth, and he had Abby demonstrate the various exercises parents can do at the playground.
We're going to do a couple upper body exercises to start.
With a simple park bench, you can do a couple variations of push-ups to work out your chest.
The more of an angle you got, the further back her feet are, the harder it's going to be.
For back exercises,
Cheer on, guys.
the swing is the go-to piece of equipment to work that muscle group.
Just going to lean back like she is and use the edge of the swing there and roll up.
The swing is another great tool to use to work your abs.
We're going to lean back in the swing just like she is. We're going to have one leg straight and one leg bent, and then we're going to switch them.
The farther back you are on the swing, the more challenging it's going to be.
Definitely the money area.
Parents don't, however, have to rely on playground equipment for their workout. You can grab your kids and do a set of lunges.
Great for balance, great for your glutes, your quads. A great lower body, major lower body exercise here.
Bottom line, it's a great alternative to sitting on the sidelines while the kids burn off energy.
You sort of scratch that itch when you take a few minutes to do something, even if we're at the park, filling their need and also taking care of yourself a little bit.
Delane, Cleveland, 12 News.
Well, for a full list of exercises that you can try at the park, along with descriptions of how to do them properly, you can find a link on our website at 12.tv. And if you have a few agreeable kids to help you along, that's great.
Lunge with you, right?
That's right. Exercises for adults, but the kids are joining in.
Kids can join in.
Still ahead, the Brooklyn Park Sisters turn lemons into lemonade for veterans.
But first, a local squad plays for a championship at the Delano 4th of July Legion Baseball Tournament. Jay Wilcox has that and more up next in sports.
Well, Jay Wilcox with sports now, and a terrific weekend for baseball. The weather was good over the weekend, and it's a traditional thing.
That's the one thing you can't control is the weather, and this time they really lucked out there. Baseball on the 4th of July do go hand in hand. 3 local teams were part of the 4-day, 8-team Delano 4th of July American Legion tournament. Wayzata won its pool, then survived a mighty test from Osseo in a 3-2 9-inning semifinal win. That put Wayzata into the title game against Egan. No score through 6, but in the top of the 7th, Wayzata's Jake Marsh strokes it down the left field line and hustles to second with a double. Marsh steals third, and then he'll come home on a sacrifice fly here by Reese Smith. And that gives Wayzata a 1-0 lead. Egan gets the tying run to second in the bottom half of the 7th, but the fly out to Danny Dice ends the game. Cody Getters shines on the mound, getting the win by tossing a 3-hit shutout. This Wayzata team and the second Wayzata squad are 2 of many local teams getting set for the huge Gopher Classic tournament starting Friday. It includes 96 teams from 9 states and 2 Canadian provinces. There are 16 sites, including Maple Grove, Hopkins, and Benilde St. Margaret's. In addition to Wayzata's teams, Maple Grove, Champlin, Brooklyn Park, Westfall Armstrong, Hopkins, and Chester Bird are local entrants. Pool play starts Friday and goes through Sunday. Pool winners then play down from a round of 16 with the championship set for next Tuesday, the 12th, at Minnetonka High School's Veterans Field. Well, get ready for a bull riding bonanza in the northwest suburbs. It's a highlight on the July calendar for rodeo fans. The 36th annual Hamel Rodeo is this week at the Corcoran Lions Park. Shorty Dorweiler of the rodeo fills us in with the details.
Well, we start Thursday night, and we have performances Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, all at 7:30, plus a special family day Saturday afternoon with all tickets just $9, and we had some kids events. This year we have 2 current world champions, reigning world champions. We have about 12 former world champions, and I just checked this morning, and after 4th of July, we have 4 of the 7 events that the current leaders for this year's World Championship are entered here. So we've got a great lineup of livestock and the best caliber of contestants we've had for several years now. It is the biggest rodeo in the state of Minnesota by far. So it's one of the rodeos that if you want to make the National Finals Rodeo and compete for, you know, $10 million, it's one of the rodeos that you do want to go to. We've moved the seating around a little bit, so yeah, we can handle a few more people than what we have, but we've always had room for people. We do take care of our spectators because what we want people to do is come to the rodeo, and when they're walking to their car after the rodeo to say, wow, we have generated $1.7 million back to the community service organization. They actually own the rodeo. We have no paid staff. Everybody is a volunteer. You know, in 1981, we started in the parking lot of Medina Ballroom, right where their hotel sits now. So it's amazing. If you would have told me in 1981 that we were going to grow to this size, I would have, you know, laughed at it.
The Hamel Rodeo gets started Thursday night with a 7:30 performance on Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night to benefit breast cancer research and awareness. Friday night is the 7:30 show, and Saturday has 2 shows with the family matinee at 1 o'clock. And it wraps up with a final performance Sunday night. Tickets are available at the gate or online at hamelrodeo.org. And he was pretty excited about the level of contestants they have this year. Said it's even up a little bit, even though it's been good in the past.
And you can see from the video the quality there.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Those guys are tough.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Jay. Still ahead, a simple 4th of July story that's no small gesture to veterans.
And we'll be right back. And finally today, an old-fashioned lemonade stand with a patriotic twist is set up in Brooklyn Park.
We're having a drink stand and donating the money that we get to the wounded veterans.
This is the 3rd year that 17-year-old Maybelle Frankie and her sisters, along with some other neighbors, have operated a drink stand along 63rd Avenue in Brooklyn Park over the 4th of July, and that's all to benefit veterans. Frankie said it was her parents' idea to start with, but the girls have kept it up as a way to say thank you to veterans. And since Sunday, the drink stand has raised about $130. Their best effort yet was a couple of years ago when they raised $200 for veterans. And she said they had a great turnout on Sunday, hoping for a good crowd today as well.
$130 at a lemonade stand?
At a lemonade stand, that's right.
Good. That's a good job.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Wednesday starting at 4.